My review and a demo of how to use the Hamilton Beach breakfast sandwich maker. I have already plugged it in and preheated it, which only takes about 3 minutes. I just timed it to see. And the one thing I really liked when I first got this, I was like, wow, it's so nice and tiny. It actually fits nicely here on the counter. It actually is not warm to touch here or here, so you can leave it back here preheating. Pull it out when you need it. But I'm not one for kitchen gadgets because you know, you only have so much counter space, and then you've got to put them on a shelf and then pull it out every time you want to use it. So I love this, that it fits right there, doesn't take up much space, pretty simple. So here is how you make a sandwich. Now for this demonstration, I'm going to be making one with egg, Canadian bacon, and cheese. But you could use, and English muffins. You could use any sort of bread. You could use white bread cut into circles. You could use a mini croissant, mini bagel. You could use waffles cut round. You could use pancakes this circular size. So there's lots of different ways you can cook with this. If you Google, and I'll put the link actually in the video description, I did find there's a whole bunch of recipes that Hamilton Beach has on their website for cooking with this, and some of them sound really, really cool. So here we go. We're just going to make the basic breakfast sandwich. So you're going to lift it up so you've got just the bottom ring here. Now I have already sprayed all of this with cooking spray. The key here, you want to make sure this little guy, because that's your egg plate, that he's all the way horizontal lined up here, not up like this when you, you know, not stuck at all, because that is what's going to hold your egg in place while it's cooking. So we're going to place the bottom of the English muffin here. We're going to place the Canadian bacon. I'm going to put a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese. Then we're going to close this little guy down. Then again, just double check, make sure this is all the way over. We're going to crack the egg into here, which for this video is already cracked. You also want to break the yolk open, because when yolks heat, since they have that little membrane around them, if you don't break it, if you ever microwaved eggs before, you'll know if you poach in the microwave that the yolk will rupture and it can make a big mess. So I just took my fingers, swished it around. Then what I like to do with eggs is I love this. It's a bulk Cajun seasoning from Winco. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on there. And then we're going to top this in a little bit more. We're going to top this off with the other half of the English muffin. And then simply close it on up. And then we're going to wait for about 5 minutes. So let's pause this and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Alexa, stop. Okay, so we are all done cooking. So now all you're going to do, you're going to lift this up. See this little lever here, the one I was saying you wanted to make sure was all the way to the right for your eggs? You're going to now slide this all the way out to the left. Now, a good indicator that you haven't sprayed it well enough with cooking spray is there'd be eggs stuck to here. And from what I've found, you don't need to spray the cooking spray every single time if you've got a decent cooking spray. I've only sprayed it maybe twice, and I've made like 6 sandwiches. So anyway, so there you go. And then you're going to lift this up and lift that up. And look at that. A beautiful breakfast sandwich. Lift it off. Again, easier when you're two-handed onto your plate. This English muffin was a little bit small, so I kind of extended. But it is nice and toasty here along the surface here, and on the bottom part, we'll flip it over. But it doesn't toast it like a toaster, since it's not there's not heating elements like the little coils in a toaster. But what you do is you get like a panini sort of cook to it, so the way it's cooked. So it's very crispy and yummy. The egg kind of bonds into the English muffin because it's placed, the surface placed right on. Oops, I got it upside down now. But they are absolutely delicious. But yeah, there's lots of things you could do. I saw in the little thing you could make little individual pizzas where you don't really have anything on top. You just have the English muffin down here, and then your cheeses and whatnot. But yeah, it's very versatile. I think it'd be great. I'm thinking about getting one for my parents who have an RV, because this would be a cool little thing for them to have when they travel about. A lot easier than heating up the stove, having to use the microwave as well. I've made breakfast sandwiches quite a bit before, and you would have to toast the English muffin, you'd have to poach the egg, then where do you put the cheese? Then you also need to somehow heat up the Canadian bacon. As far as bacon goes too, you can use regular bacon in here, but you would cook it first. You're not going to cook the bacon in here because bacon takes a little bit more to cook, and more so you'd end up with just grease everywhere. So the meats you're going to put in here are already cooked meats. You're going to have your hams, your Canadian bacon. You could use the yummy little those cooked breakfast sausages that you find. But yeah, I'm going to try some chicken sausage patties. They'd be really good. But there is the sandwich maker sandwich. But I give this 5 stars. I think it's a very versatile little tool here for making your breakfast sandwiches. I love that it takes up so little real estate. You can actually take, and I'm not going to do now because it's really hot, but this entire mechanism, you reach in the back here and it comes right off. So you could take this all right off of here and then rinse. There you go. It just came right off. See? Take this, put it right in the sink, wash it off, wipe this surface down. Putting it back together is as simple as, which, not so simple one-handed, but yeah, but those little thing just lines up there and sits down. But yeah, 5 stars from me.